Hey everyone, do you feel overwhelmed when it comes to makeup? I know a lot of people do. Well, Charlotte Tilbury has bottled 30 years of artistry into easy to choose, easy to use beauty products, and you cannot go wrong. They are flattering for everyone, everywhere, and that's the reason why she is the queen of glow. Her rigorous standards ensure that every product is designed and formulated for performance like nothing else on the market. Take her iconic Hollywood Flawless Filter. With one product, you can blur, smooth, and illuminate the look of skin. Plus, it's skincare infused for clinically proven hydration for up to 24 hours. From red carpets to influencers' bathrooms, her legendary icons have gone viral for making everyone look and feel like the most beautiful, confident version of themselves. So, Charlotte Tilbury is performance you can trust. It's legendary for a reason. You can use code CTPodcast15, that's CTPodcast15, for 15% off on charlottetilbury.com. Plus, new account holders get free delivery. This ad is brought to you by Charlotte Tilbury USA, customers only, and valid until March 2nd, 2025. For full T&Cs and exclusions, see the Charlotte Tilbury website. She needs to do a podcast since she never got her due. She's a big lesbian and a loudmouth Jew. With a gasket always ready to blow, you're listening to Judy's show. Who? Judy's show. Wait a minute, who are you talking about? Oh, she's an asshole. What is wrong with you? Oh, you suck. So long. Fuck off. Hey everyone, welcome to It's Judy's Show with Judy Gold. I was looking for I don't know if you noticed there was a little pause because I was looking for my bell. Anyway, welcome to this week's show where you have the privilege to listen to part 2 of my conversation with Tovah Feldshuh. And yeah, a lot going on. Let me just tell you about my dates. Okay, so next Monday, February 24, I am doing a live podcast with the one and only Stephanie Ruhle at the Village Underground, which is on West 3rd Street. It's at 6 p.m. You go to the podcast, and then you go out to dinner in the Village. It's a great night out. You'll be done by 7:30. You're out. You have a nice evening, and then you go home, and it's going to be a really great conversation. So that's February 24th. Live podcast with Stephanie Ruhle. The 23rd, I am at the Comedy Cellar at 5 p.m. to do an hour show, but I want you to come to my podcast. And then starting on February 26th, I am in My First Ex-Husband off Broadway, written by Joy Behar. And yeah, that'll be till March 23rd. Daylight savings time is coming up. March 27, 28, 29, I am in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Comedy Loft. And then I'm going to Aruba, but let me just tell you when I'll be near you. I will be in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, April 19, Pittsburgh, April 25th, Bedford, New York, May 1st, City Winery, Boston, May 8th. I got a lot going on. I can't believe I'm already into May. Oh, that's because my March, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so come see my live podcast with Stephanie. Anyway, I just want to also say that I really enjoyed this weekend, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live, because Saturday Night Live came out in 1975. I was almost 13. I was 12, but almost 13. And I have pretty much watched that show every week since then. And it's been, and I still tape it. I still watch it every week. especially Weekend Update. And it's been a really big part of my life. And yes, I remember the first cast and how great they were. And it's so funny that Chevy was only there for 1 year because it seemed like he was there forever. But yeah. I just felt very nostalgic. I feel like it was a part of, and it wasn't even an innocent time. It was just a time of where, you know, your sense of humor and political correctness and edginess that everyone gets upset about now, which is so fucking ridiculous. And it was the things that made us laugh and that we talked about all the time the following week and did, you know, impressions of Roseanne Dana and Jane, you ignorant slut. And, you know, I'm Chevy Chase and you're not. It was just part of our zeitgeist, but like it's still part of the zeitgeist. And yeah, it was just great seeing every one of them, you know, old sketches. We watched the first ever episode too, but it didn't fucking record because it, I guess, listed it as a repeat. So we only saw part of it, but yeah, just so Mazel Tov. I was never in that group of SNL. I never went to an after party, which I always wanted to go to. Not anymore because I'm 97 years old. But yeah, I definitely submitted to be a writer a couple times. Never got in. But, you know, Colin Quinn. I knew so many Chris Rock. I knew so many comics. Sarah Silverman, who got jobs there and still have jobs there. Rosebud Baker, Michael Che. I mean, just, yeah, it's iconic. And it's such a big part of New York City. And it was just, I loved it. I watched it with people I love. Phil Rosenthal, Monica Rosenthal, Lily Rosenthal, Ben Rosenthal, their paramours, Delaney and Mason, and Elisa Dawn Halpern, my lover. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to say congratulations. A lot of other shit going on in the world. I know that everyone's talking about Michael Steele, you know, video. I agree with him. I don't know how this fucking guy is sitting in the Oval Office with his obnoxious, well, the kid's supposed to be obnoxious, but with his child taking over our country and no one's doing a fucking thing about it. So that's annoying. Happy the hostages came home, the 3 hostages, but it's, come on. Let's get the hostages home. Okay? Home. And move on with this situation. I feel terrible about Ukraine. It's just so much going on. And trans people, like, stop fucking, don't tell us who's in our community when you're in the closet, you know? You know how many of these guys are in the fucking closet? And they're telling us, they're making laws, they're legislating about LGBTQ rights. Fuck you. It's time to out them. Yeah, I'm done. You know, they're going to disrupt everything. We should disrupt. Okay? You can't sit in the closet and make laws against LGBTQ people. Sorry. Not working anymore, Lindsay. All right, I can't get my blood pressure up. Let's be Jewish. Let's be Jewish and sit back and relax and enjoy part 2 of my conversation with the one, the only Tovah Feldshuh. You got married in, was it 6 weeks?
Yes, at the plaza, yeah.
And that, you said, was a changing point in your relationship with your mother.
Yes, it was. My mother was incredibly capable. And my mother is phenomenal in emergencies. She was when my dad had a stroke, she was a great caretaker. And I married a husband who came from a father, that same thing. There are people who rush in, like Ari Ackerman, makes me cry to say his name. And he's always on the media. And he's always fighting for the Jew. And Juliana Margulies does it, and Deborah Messing, and I do it. But then people get frightened. There's a young boy in Iran who I just saw it on the media's. So he's singing that in Iran, and he has been arrested by the Iranian police and probably will be tortured. And so they got the footage out and they said, please get this wherever you can get it. So what does it mean to be courageous? And now we're in this situation domestically with a president who's so intemperate. I'm very concerned for our homosexual community, for the trans community.
Women's health care.
Well, women's health care, right?
Tovah, I really wanted to talk about this with you, but I didn't know if you wanted to. But there is now a faction of Jews, and this. How can you say that? Look what he's doing for the Jews. Look at this, and this myopic thinking that we can overlook everything because Elon Musk was wearing, a dog tag, a bring them home dog tag. Like, what's happening?
Well, I think that's actually the question, what's happening. And when you go to Hollywood and you see the awards and you see no yellow ribbons, not one.
I know.
So that's also what's happening. And I have a friend, I adore her. She's a journalist. She lived a lot in East Jerusalem, and she's a big fighter for as a Jew for the left. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, my angel Barbara, if they find you, they don't care what your political point of view is. You will get the same bullet that I would get.
Right.
That people of courage would get. I think that there's a certain segment of the Jewish population, like any human being, that simply wants to live and wants a break and feels that Trump will gladiator for the Jewish people the way Netanyahu has. And listen, Netanyahu may be a terrible prime minister, but he's been a hell of a warrior. And yes, he's extended the war so he can stay in power and all that stuff.
Right.
But also sometimes when you're dealing with the cult of death, sometimes you have to pummel them to defang them.
Right.
It's a terrible story.
And it's terrible that innocent people.
And that's what happens.
It's just the worst.
And our boys, I say Kaddish as I will today at 5:30 for the various soldiers we've lost. They're all between 19 and 22.
Right.
At most I saw somebody 31, but mostly they're young boys. They're young boys. Look, it's why Truman decided to atomically explode the bombs.
Right.
It was predicted we would lose 100,000 American boys on the shores of Japan because the Japanese were such fierce, brilliant, and committed fighters. And he just said, I can't do it. So that's what's going on with part of the Jewish population. They're exhausted from this entire mess. And one thing about good old Trump, he says he's going to do something, then he goes ahead and does it.
Right.
And I think if if the checks and balances don't figure themselves out here, we're going to experience a partial death of democracy. But I'm hoping that the courts will come to their senses, particularly the Supreme Court.
Oh, please.
Well,
with that Alito, ugh, I can't stand him. And Thomas.
You know what makes every outfit look better? The right bra from Third Love. Their bras make it easy to get ultimate cleavage, a smooth look, or even stop your shirt buttons from pulling. They make over 60 sizes, including half cups you won't find anywhere else, so you'll find your perfect fit. Third Love solves bra problems, or what they call brablems. Real women test every style they make. Comfort and support are guaranteed. So stop settling for bad bras. You deserve better. Get your problem solved today. Save $15 on your first order with code PODCAST15 at thirdlove.com.
Tovah, I want to ask you.
The Terry to Tovah thing?
Oh, that I love. I love that Terry Fairchild, that you had a boyfriend, Goyish boyfriend.
Love him. He came to a concert I did this summer.
No way! Were you attracted to him?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. He came with his wife, and he's older and I'm older. He was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life, and he was so foreign.
Right.
He was so blonde and blue, and the family came over in the 1600s, and they lived in Cold Spring Harbor, and I went to that country club where they don't allow Jews, and it got proven to me that you can't eat at these Goyish country clubs, but you can drink. And, it was just the cucumber sandwiches with the butter. It was
Oh,
all
yeah.
right out of England. And I just adored him. And he sailed, and he was creative, and he was a photographer. And he said, what kind of a name is Terry Sue for a girl like you? You're from the North, and it's a name that's both a boy's name and a girl's name. And in those days, that was not a plus. Also, it wasn't a formal name. It wasn't even Teresa.
Right.
Debbie became Deborah.
Right.
And Barbie became Barbara, and Terry became Terry. And then there was Terry Mugler, who's a boy. My godfather.
Oh, yes, Terry, yes.
I think it's also Thierry. That's
oh, yes.
There was Terry Culp in my school at Scarsdale High. He was a very nice boy. Then there was my godfather's dog. His collie was named Terry. And finally I said, gee, and also it was a lot of R.
Right.
So I said, well, I was called Tovah in Sunday school because I was embarrassed to say Hebrew school. But I was in Hebrew school 8 hours a week. I was, we were, as you say, we were busy wearing, Peter Pan collars and
Right.
virgin pins and cashmere sweaters and A-line skirts and Papa Galler shoes and having no accent. We came from Westchester. We didn't talk like this. We didn't have a
Right.
dental we wanted to make sure our speech, we had not elocution lessons, but you spoke like a human being.
Right.
And in all events, I said, my name in Hebrew school is Tovah after my great aunt Tilly, who died early in her life, whose Hebrew name was Tovah. And I'll never forget it, making a meal out of the words. He said, Tovah, now that's a name. And I thank Michael Fairchild every day of my life.
Oh, God, that's great.
I was barely 18. I just turned 18. And I think that I had no idea that changing my name would change the entire landscape of my life. I thought it was just a love name between us. And then I decided to keep it in Minneapolis when I got the scholarship to Guthrie. And it's a Danish name, so they thought I was local. Tovah Feldshuh. They thought
What did your mother say?
She was upset.
Oh, of course.
We didn't come to this country for you to change. Sydney, get over here. Already Feldshuh is unpronounceable. Now she's going to be Tovah Feldshuh. What a disaster. And Robbie Lance, Viennese Jew, said, Tovah, darling, your name will never be on the marquee. It's just undoable.
No way.
David Merrick came to me. I had my dramatic debut in Dreyfus in rehearsal. This was before Yentl. And he said, I think you should change your name. I think it's a real liability. And I said, you probably asked Barbara Streisand to change your nose, didn't you, Mr. Merrick? He took me to dinner at lunch in those days in Sardis. He very much liked me, and I liked him. And anyway, I didn't change my name. I kept Tovah Feldshuh, and on one hand, I played everything. I mean, I played Katharine Hepburn, and I played all sorts of Christian people and queens.
You played a Holocaust denier.
I did indeed.
Brenda Goodson?
That's right. I did, in the soap myth.
Do you think it's harder? I mean, I do, but do you, you talked about all these other brilliant actors, and they are creating characters. So they have an empty palette that they are going to fill. You are oftentimes becoming someone who people know.
Yeah.
I mean, I find that's really difficult.
I find it magical because it's based on your diligence.
Right.
You over-prepare to go with the flow. You study them, and more importantly, you find out, is there any cellular coincidence? Andy and I at WQXR in classical. Where is the cellular coincidence? Well, if I were going to play Hitler, let me see. I love to clean my windows, I love to wash my dishes, and I love to iron. And Hitler was the greatest housekeeper in the world. He wanted to clean up the world.
Right.
Kind of sweep away the Jews, sweep away people who had health problems, sweep away the homosexuals, sweep away the communists, have the Poles be the servants, and have the Danes be the height of the Aryan dream. So that's how I would enter him, because as you play these people, you have to root for them. I just played Fiona Helmsley.
Yes,
and I
that's right.
Right? Genius is the ability what is it? No. Excellence is the ability to hit a target nobody else can hit.
Right.
Genius is the ability to hit a target nobody else can see. And Leona Helmsley was great in one way. She was a great balabusta. She could see dust and disorder where other people couldn't see it. She could see it in her mind, how to arrange it, how to look. Look how she looked in her days with Harry. She was beyond meticulous and wanted to bring everybody up to the bar. Now, that's how I played her, because I play her as a villain.
Right.
And then people don't come up to the bar. She gets angry. We had a plumber here yesterday. He adjusted something in the washing machine. He left $2,000 later, and the machine doesn't work. So I had to do a breathing exercise not to get activated, because if you don't do your job well, that was a big no-no in my family.
Same.
So they came back without a charge, and 2 other plumbers from the same company came. It's called Fred Smith. I do recommend them. And they made it right. So God bless them.
Go Fred Smith, baby.
Yeah, they were great. They were very nice and they're very responsive. Anyway,
Tovah.
we've got to talk about my
I know. So you are now, I could talk to you forever. You are now, wait, first of all, I have a question. Do you still ride your bike?
Everywhere.
Yeah, me too. Okay. And I know you don't ride the city bike. I do ride. I have my own bike that I usually ride, but I do ride the city bike sometimes.
I should get with it. I should try the city bike. I'm just not going to buy an electric bike. I need to stay lean. And
No, do not buy an electric bike. And they blow up.
From ADT comes Trusted Neighbor, the new standard in home access. Through the ADT Plus app, easily grant and automate event-based or scheduled access for neighbors, friends, and helpers. Notify trusted individuals of events like alarms or packages, and set access windows for planned guests or even the dog walker without interrupting your day. Visit ADT.com. When every second counts, count on ADT. Requires ADT Complete Pro monitoring plan and compatible devices. Copyright 2025 ADT LLC. All rights reserved.
Okay. I can't even talk about the amount of television you have done and film. It's beyond. But anyway, you are now in a play that I will be in after you. It's called My First Ex-Husband. It is written by Joy Behar, who we love. You're sharing this. I mean, it's a series of monologues. Are you enjoying this process?
Well, the whole thing is so crazy great. It comes down from the head of the fish. So Joy gives me a call, and I was doing a big job. I think I was shooting Nobody Wants This with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody.
Right.
She and Angela LaGreca said, can you be at this inn in Southampton to read some monologues? I said, I try to do everything for you. I'm flying in, and if I can get the car to take me from there to Southampton, I can probably arrive for the gig. And we're there in Southampton. We read these monologues, and they were very good. I did it, Sadie's Rule. Joy did it, and Angela did it. And then she started to formalize it. And we did it, quote, in a much more production-oriented way at the Bay Street Theater, and it just went through the roof. I think it was June 22nd. So then she asked us back to do it in August, and it went through the roof again. And then she said to me, would you like to do this in New York? I said, that'd be great. I just have to fit it around Nobody Wants This. And I have concerts. I did 9 concerts in Florida from the 2nd to the 10th of January. And I said, and they were wonderful to me. They said, when can you work? What is your schedule? I said, you have to start after the 10th. And then what was good for them is to start January 29th. That was great for me. I went to Jamaica. I went to Aspen.
I know you went skiing.
I went skiing. I just got off the ski slopes yesterday night.
I hate skiing so much.
I love it. And everybody gives it up. My friend Christy Hefner is a great athlete. They all give it up. The trouble is with skiing at the moment, you can ski, but you can't fall.
Right. I hate falling. And I hate those skis, and I'm just big. And I can't stand ice skating. I can't stand skiing. I don't know. You're just so, you're like an athlete.
No, you should see me play basketball. I can barely reach the rim.
Okay. All right. There's one thing you can't do.
There you go. There you go. So anyway, I came, and Joy for somebody who's actually very, very powerful with a lot of media reach, is so low key. She's also older than all of us, and she's all 8 cylinders. So my God, she's 10 cylinders.
Yeah.
So she's an inspiration. She's so relaxed. And she said, "Do you have anything you want to change here?" I said, "Well, how would this sound? How would this sound?" She said, "Oh yeah, put that in." She's like that.
She's really great. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then this Rose Kiola, I call her Rose in Roseland. You want to work for this woman. You are going to love this producer. There's nobody more generous, caring, and she's an Italian. And
I love the Italians.
And I tell you, when she caters a meal, it's like you don't have to eat for the next 2 days.
Really?
Oh, she's very generous. And her theater, the Manhattan Movement and Art Center, MMAC, is meticulous. And here's my soundbite for our piece. They put out a press release that says it's hilarious, but a lot of the piece is also very moving and certainly not slapstick comedy. It's actually comedy based out of truth and our place as women in relationship to the men we chose and how they made us feel. To the men we chose and how they made us feel. And it's the truth.
That's what is great. That is great comedy. Is just based in truth. The audiences know when you're bullshitting them.
Well, that's true with acting. The audience and the camera hates a liar. Hates a liar, except for Trump. I mean,
what the fuck? I know.
I think maybe when he says these things, he must believe them. He must believe that California has to help itself. And that he's going to tell FEMA not to help California.
Well, he's going to end FEMA. I can't even look at him like I don't know how I'm going to get through the next. I've just been reading novels and history.
We just have to keep our faith in democracy and be as active as we can. I mean, I don't know if he'll respond, and also the gesture to the king is Elon Musk. I mean, I'm ready for Henry IV and for Elon Musk to be 3 feet tall, walking around with a hump on his back and whispering in the ear of the king. I think the best I can do is that Donald Trump wants to run the government like a CEO, that he's the head of a big company and he's going to get what he wants. But back to Joy. So Joy mentions my first ex-husband on The View, and they've sold $250,000 of tickets.
No way.
Yes, gone. So I'm telling everybody who's listening to your podcast, if you want to go see Judy, you go see Judy on the
26th, February 26th to March 23rd.
That's right. And if you want to see me and Adrian and Susie Essman and Joy, you come January 29th to February 23rd. And I'm telling you, I love the place so much, or the job so much. We do speak on what's like a music stand. You'll be able to see our feet. But it's an on-book thing with an all-star, very equipped cast from month to month. And I'm probably going to ask to come back because it's just great.
Oh, I can't wait to do it. Is everyone on stage together?
Yep.
The whole time?
We're together the whole time. We sit down and we come up and do the monologue, and you can act your brains out. And
I love it. And did you ever do Love, Loss, and What I Wore, or the Vagina Monologues?
I worked for Laura, and I did Vagina Monologues.
So
and they wanted to give me the orgasm speech in the Vagina Monologues because they felt that was the jewel in the crown. I said, I can't do it to David Stone. He said, why? I said, because my children are alive.
Yeah. I did the angry vagina. They told me I was the angriest vagina they had ever had. And that wasn't the first time I'd heard that. And then I did it while I was 6 months pregnant, and I did the birth. And that was really intense for me.
I love that.
I loved the birth.
I don't remember what I did, but I did one interpretation, and David Stone came back and said, "You're not doing that. You can't do that." It's like when I did Lend Me a Tenor, and I brought a banana to rehearsal to use it as a prop, and Jerry said, Tovah. I said, okay, I'm just bringing it in.
Right.
You got to ask. Anyway, we are at MMAC 248 West 60th Street. I want everybody who loves Judy to make sure you come see my first ex-husband.
And everyone who loves Tovah, which there happened to be a lot of people. Tovah, do you, I know we only have a couple minutes, but are you pleasantly surprised at your amazing amount of TV, the amazing amount of TV that you are booking. I mean, it's like, did you think at this age you would be?
I have a theory. I spoke to Patti LuPone about it. I actually think Patti LuPone and I, at our age, are the two people that can still do 8 a week. Not 7, not 6, 8. And it's the bell curve. The field is less crowded. I mean, Meryl is ad astra, and she even is doing television. But I have been somewhat siloed, but I can differentiate into the Jewish heroic matriarch. So I have played Anne Hathaway's, Oscar Isaac's, Leah Michelle, Rachel Bloom's mother. I've played opposite Tony Hopkins in Armageddon Time, and I just wrapped a picture called Tuner, and I play Dustin Hoffman's wife. And we have an
Wow.
Yes, directed by Daniel Rohrer, who won the Academy Award for Alexei Navalny. So I am stunned and I am thrilled, and my answer to any good job offer is yes.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Well, that gives me hope.
Absolutely.
But
Judy,
Tovah, I'm so tall. It's like, I mean, I love it. I love it. And I love doing stand-up, but I do think it hurts sometimes in the casting department.
It hurts me that people will not see me for certain Christian roles.
Oh my God. You would make an amazing...
I do it.
You were in Walking Dead.
As Deanna Monroe, I certainly was. And I was a litigator and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I said in independent films, I get big parts, and in very big films, I get supporting roles.
Right.
And when they're good and I can make them work, I mean, it's my duty to make them work. It's my job. Anyway, God bless you for this podcast. How wonderful that you do this.
Oh, I love interviewing people who I admire and telling their stories. And I just think it's so important.
I have to go to Zoom Shabbat to
All
meet.
right. I love you so much. Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure. I want everybody to come to my first ex-husband. This is Joy's first, isn't it Joy's first play? I think,
yeah, but she's written, I've seen other stuff she's written, but this is the first full production. So
yeah, well then. God bless you, Joyce, and got it. Joyce, listen to me, Joy. Yeah. Hello. Joyce was my mother's caretaker. It's not a problem. I still have some of my cognitive skills. All right. I love you,
All right. Shabbat shalom. I love you. Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of my conversation with Tovah Feldshuh. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. She really is iconic and just wonderful and Jewish and Jew. This podcast is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling, marketed by Helly Dercher, and the theme song written by the one and only Lauren Gold. Please subscribe and leave a review. Please come to my live podcast with the one and only Stephanie Ruhle on February 24th at the Village Underground on West 3rd Street at 6 p.m. Go out to dinner afterwards. It's a Monday. It's the best way to spend your Monday. I don't know what else to tell you except the world's coming to an end and we need to fucking do something about it. And it's really getting on my fucking nerves. It's horrible. They're doing to trans people, trying to erase people. Fuck you. The anti-Semitism in Australia. I mean, it's all over, but it's really bad in Australia. And I'm just sick of it. It's just crazy. Anyway, let's think of something positive. Well, the days are getting longer. It's light outside longer. You have gigs you can come to, which are very fun and great. And yeah, I don't know what else. Happy President's Day. I can't deal. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just speak up. Speak up. Speak out against anti-Semitism. Speak out against what they're doing to these trans people. It's ridiculous. Speak up and speak out. And stop letting this shit happen without any pushback. It's crazy. It's time to not shut the fuck up. You need to speak. I mean, if you're on the right side of history. Anyway, all right, I gotta go because I need my coffee and I'm gonna make some eggs now. So I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. I love you. Thank you to whomever is listening to the end. And as we always say, so long, ga 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 ga.